you know, uh, how many role an ED consultant is doing, So that's the first screen which highlight. And as we have defined earlier, that a consultant is a person who uses non-technical skill in an expert way to use the hard skill or the technical skill to further advance a given problem, a given, task or a consultation, So that's what the consultant definition in the modern day and era is. So, now we see, so ED consultant, so that's the consultant definition. But an ED consultant can be epic, where we call it epic, like a chauffeur in charge. And I think Olu have certainly, managed the shop floor. And some of you guys might have managed the shop floor, but I think we should be doing more often so we know the flavor. And Olu can tell you how busy you are, so how difficult it is to divide your attention to the various things. So when you're epic, and you will be a lead consultant as well. Lead consultant mean that, we like a cabinet, is it? Like somebody is health minister, somebody is minister for finance, something. The lead consultant, same thing. For instance, I'm leading neurology, stroke, and minor injury, and these sort of stuff. Okay, and as a deputy director of the Caesar. Similarly, every consultant have got his role. Firas is IT, and so that's what I mean. The lead, and as a lead consultant, you have to attend the meeting of them specialties or them discipline which you are leading to. Okay, so that's the meeting there as well. And then, some of you will becoming a clinical director of the department, a head of service of the department as well. So as a clinical director, you have to do a lot of meeting as well. And, but some of you might become a director, divisional director, or some of you might become medical director. So all these roles have a, element of meeting in it. As you go up, the more meeting, okay. And, down I've written, so the managers. So the meeting will have to be with the managers. And then you look at the, the Clinical Governance Commission, what they call it, Clinical Commissioning, CCG. You have to speak to GPs. You have to have some meeting with the ambulance control, social care services, safeguarding, coroner, criminal justice system, patient safety groups, clinical governance, complaint, serious untoward incidents, bereavement services, as if you become a medical examiner, IT services, education training services, as we are meeting now, and appraisal, so this rotten stuff, GMC, colleges, regulatory and legal bodies, MDU, STU, whatever they are. The list is, inexhaustible, when you are a consultant. So you believe me, you will go through all this stuff. I can count few more dozen, where, you can be involved. Okay. So, so there are a lot of stuff on the consultant plate. Hence, the meeting is very important. Hence, I selected this topic. I must confess that it must be a rudimentary, it must not be to the intellect of you guys, but I just selected to jog out the memory, to create a bit of section in the brain that this is a very important part of the job, which we call it non-technical skills. And consultants are given time for that, SPA. SPA means supporting activity. So I think an hour is a 4 hour, out of hour to us is 2.5 hours. So every week you have got this, what we call it, SPA for that meeting stuff, is it? Now I charted out, I started with definition of meetings, which we are going to discuss, types of meetings, which we'll talk about, and what is the requirement of a meeting, like before arranging meeting, what we need to know, And the purpose of meeting is very important when we do submitting agenda. Agenda is really important. And matter arising in the meeting and action points arising and the minutes of the meeting. So this is a bit of cascade of the things which when you are attending a meeting or organizing a meeting or you're chairing a meeting. So you guys need to have this sort of little bit of cascade in the mind. So these are the particular items which should be kept in mind while attending, arranging, or conducting a meeting. Okay, so the next slide, Olu, please. Okay, definition of meeting. We have missed is it. So it's Olu, there's any other slide? Yeah, definition. So definition of meeting, I've written there. You know, I think if somebody else can put something in, of course they can come forth. I mean, to me, is a group of people who have got a common aim and objective, and they come together for the purpose of achieving a goal through verbal interaction. Okay. And you know, so sometime you know, sometime in the parliament they hit each other with a chair as well, and sometimes it happened in the meeting, you know, very heated discussion, you know, because when you sit together, you know, so you must not be shy away to talk on the difficult points. Okay, for instance, you know, sometime you know, Rota and because in a group some people are very clever. You see, some people are simple, straightforward, like Olu, you know, and some people are cunning like me, something. So I will be putting more pressure on Olu to work or something, you know. So these are difficult points, but we should not be shy away to discuss difficult points, because the meeting is done to achieve something. And when we shy away from talking difficult points, so that does not solve the problem. Okay, I think the group of the people should be mature enough to talk to difficult points and tolerate it and then sort it out, you know. So that's what verbal interaction is. So, you know, so it's not like a, you know, sweetie, no, not at all, you know. So really sometimes it's a heated discussion and really, you know, talking and stuff like that. It might well be difficult at the time, but that's what the meeting is about. And, you know, and then I said, you know, we will go a bit further. We will talk later on to this one. Okay, now, before arranging meeting, it's very important to understand what type of meeting we are having. Because when that come in the mind, then all the structure and the flow of the meeting and the outcome and the agenda, everything changes. So there are different types of meeting. So, you know, I put a status update. For instance, you know, we have develop a service, okay, like, you know, ENP service or ACP service or, you know, FDAC or SDAC or this FCAM, fast gen, what they call it, the GP service. So this might be a status update. So because Altaf is leading on the GP front desk, so we might call a meeting of all the consultant or the group of the people where Dr. Altaf might well be updating us. So that's what the status update is called, because how far the service has developed, is anything need to be put in or minus or what, you see what I mean, or we want to change it, you know. So that's called a status update of a service development where we a meeting can be called. Okay, and the meeting can be a decision-making meeting, you know. Same, I think it also linked with the status update meeting as well. So the seer might well be no, because you know, we don't want our space to be used by other guys. Can we have a meeting? Can we see how can be done? Or, you know, the decision has to be made that you know, the ED should have a EAU, should have a CDU. You see what I mean? It's like that. A decision has to be made, like, should we see the patient at the back of the ambulance, you know? So that's what I mean. There had to be some decision reached there. So you see, then the meeting ambient will change. So the meeting ambient and the goal are changed depending on the aim of the meeting. Okay. And the meeting can be a problem solving meeting, So any problem in the job plan or into the group or in the department, it can be a problem. So how can we sort this problem out? So, so we could reach a considered set of, mutual decision that's the problem need sorting out. It can be a team building meeting. The team building meeting is interesting. We've been to recently to race course for the team building meeting. And the team building meeting, it's like these meetings happen when we think that there's a divisiveness in the team. Okay, there's a division in the team is not cohesive. Then people are taken out on a day, away from the workplace. There they sit together. Okay, they talk about issues. Okay, then there's some sort of
Hello, is he here?
Mr. Junjua, we can't hear you.
Has he gone?
He's still here.
You're still online.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think my this laptop is goes off after so many minutes. Is it? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I think I will use my iPhone because this
Okay.
laptop is rubbish. Is it?
Okay.
Okay, so it can be, we were talking about team building meeting. In the team building meeting, there is a discussion face to face. Again, stress being put on to talk about the difficult points. What the difficult points are, where we are lacking in the team building, and then there are some physical exercises. So the physical exercises is done, a little bit intellectual, stimulation and, some sort of, physical exercises where really, so from the group, you select a leader. Okay. So that leader will be helped by co-leader, and then there will be a physical set of problem, and they have to sort out, together. For instance, in the recent team building exercise when we were in the race course, so they blindfolded one of the exercise. They blindfolded. They have a little bit, they have a little bit, hook, and there was. Oh, no, I can. No, just a moment. Just one. I will leave this thing. Okay. So there's a little hook there. Okay. And then there's a little fish, plastic fish. We have to take the fish out. Okay. So that was the team building exercise. And there was a couple of guys stood beside you, and they used to tell you, move your hand here, there, left, right, up, center, down, left. Okay. So again, it's the barrier to break down barrier between different people. In the team building exercise meeting. So, because at the workplace, people sometimes I don't remember that Kai and me might have worked together, because long time now, because when he is on, I'm not. Similarly, other guys, so at the workplace, probably you don't have a time to meet each other. And the team building meeting is good in that, because you are together there, and then, you thrash out your differences. And we've known that when the interaction between two people or human being is more interaction, they get more free, they get more lucid, they don't shy away, they talk more. Okay, so that's what and the team can be, meeting can be information sharing meeting. So for instance, so think the last meeting is important, in all industry. So it can be innovation, a brainstorming meeting where people sit together to develop a product, a strategy, a tactics, and they become a different option and they discuss about pros and cons of the option. So that's what it means. Next slide, please. I think we are okay. Now, what are the requirements, a prerequisite of the meeting? So, we've discussed definition, we discussed importance of the meeting, definition, types, and now prerequisite. So intention is very important. So why the meeting has been called in? Okay. Again, we refer back to the type of meeting. So what the goal of the meeting, what the intention is to call the meeting upon, is it the intention is to bash somebody? Is intention is to develop a service or to run a department, or is it a regular meeting, something, so that participants also very important in the meeting. So, and we talk a little bit more when we group size is important because it's a logistic, the office space, and if it's as we are now having this trouble with the IT, the space, the structural, and is it an in-person or remote meeting? Because in-person meeting is different, remote meeting is different, and we know, remote meeting might well be achieving a lot in short time, but that face-to-face contact, that looking into each other's eyes, that's not possible in the remote, as I understand. And the face-to-face is looking into each other's eye and then talking about. I think that also removes some sort of barrier among the different sort of section of the group of the people. Okay. Now, content of the meeting, of course, this is influenced by the participant. It is based on the knowledge, experience, expertise, information, ideas, and opinion, attitude, and expectation. So I think this is the fundamental. So how the meeting will proceed, what the content of the meeting will be, because this depends on the background of the people. I mean, politician might well be talking different. Their knowledge is different, and a meeting of the junior staff might well be different, and the meeting of the senior staff might be different. So that's what I mean. The content of the meeting depends on all these sort of background sort of acquisition and the properties or skills or whatever you attributes of the participant, really, So yeah, we move to the next slide now. Okay, so then these are prerequisite meeting we are talking about. So what the purpose of the meeting is it, So what we are going to achieve in that meeting, the purpose of the meeting very much depends on the what the goal and goal of that meeting is. Okay, so then is any problem has a reason? That's why we are calling a meeting, or is it a regular meeting as we do weekly meeting? Because the regular meeting, there are not many surprises into regular meeting, is there? So we have a fixed agenda, and if we want to discuss something, we ask our meeting coordinator to put that item in agenda, and then we just talk about. So there's no much surprises. Okay, so is it to form an opinion? Sometimes we call meeting in our department or in hospital, in any organization, to form an opinion about something which is like a board round now. So board round is item agenda now. Olu is leading on that. So we need to form opinion about that, because this month we are a bit different, is it? So what somebody say, no, it should be this much time. Somebody say, no, oh, that should not be called in. That should not be called in. So the meeting is done to form a uniform opinion, uniform sort of approach to a problem. So it can be that sort of meeting. As we talk about, the meeting can be a service development meeting. We've got a lot of example now. I mean, you guys are doing this, what we call some sort of shop floor management. And Zia is, involved in developing some sort of good service development at the senior review level. And Olu is developing board round, so it can be meeting regarding these sort of things which we need to thrash out and need to smoothen out. And as I said, rota meeting can be rotas and job planning meeting, So service head of the service or CD or division director or whatever, or the medical director. So they might be having a meeting with you guys in the future. So about your job plan, about your rota. Now, this is quite sticky meeting, for the future, because, if you are accepting everything in the job plan meeting, believe me, everything will be coming to you. Okay, because I think, one of our consultant left, Basel and Doncaster Hospital because of the altercation of job planning, because his job planning did not suit him whatever he liked, so he went away. So the job planning meeting is very, very important. So when you become a consultant, I'm pretty sure you will give a lot of thought to your job planning meeting. Okay, because here, if you accept some job plan, you might start working too much. And if you are a bit clever and convince the head of service or the CD or the division director or the medical director, so then you might be easy, because your post will be permanent there. So even if you accept half a session over and above, which you don't like, so it will add up too much. So job planning and rota meeting are often difficult and demanding, and really need assertion on your part. So always, planning before to go to for the job plan meeting. Can we have the next screen, please? Now, everything depends on the agenda. So agenda is when we write an essay, so this is the middle of it's the belly of the beast, agenda, because agenda is very important. And you know what? Because the person sometime they are promoted because they can hold a good meeting. They are efficient and proficient in holding a meeting. Very important. Agenda is very important. So what item what you need to be considering when you will write an agenda? Of course, it's very important. So what it is, what agenda, what you are to have an agenda. Okay. Now, I think again, is going back to the your own previous discussion. So what is meeting about? Okay, because the agenda will have a list of topics, talking points, action items and activities. So this is all agenda which need to be discussed in the meeting. That's what the agenda definition is. I've written here. So agenda is a list of topics, talking point, action items and activities to be discussed in the meeting. Okay. Now, topics. We know what topics are. Topics might well be related to just one topic in whole of the meeting, because a topic is a big thing. Okay, so we are talking about topic of, ED is going haywire. Okay, so our meeting might well be, based on just one topic. So that's the understanding in the meeting point of topic. Talking points. Now, talking points are different, because talking points, for instance, can be, okay, always lead on the board. So talking point for always that much. Okay, so that's what I mean, talking point. And action item. Now, action item is different. Action item is a piece of work or something which has arisen from the previous meeting. For instance, always having a board round, what they call action point, and this board round needs something doing, so then we will put an action point. No, it needs changing. For instance, the time is 30 minutes, but the time should be 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So, and a little bit more need changing. So could we come back after 2 weeks? Okay, so that will be action item. Understand what action item is. And of course, activities we have talked about in meeting, like a team building meeting. So there are different activities which can be mental activities, physical, whatever. So, so this is the agenda. Okay, so what the agenda should be. Okay. Now, a good agenda should have a main theme. So the main theme might well be service development. Main theme might well be giving information. Main theme might well be brainstorming. So it has a main theme. It has a talking points, which we talk about. And agenda can also have the supporting document. For instance, I've written a consultant charter now. So, I will put forth this writing. So this is the writing. Okay, if there's some question, I might go and search on Cochrane and TripBase and all this informatics sort of website to print out some article and give them, okay, my point is valid because of this. So it can be a supporting document in the agenda as well. So the point to make is, in a meeting, is allowed to present the paper, the documents. So, so it, and, it can be a decision making process, in the agenda. So, so we are talking about something where something has to be decided. And we also spoke about the action items. Action item again is the same thing as the action points, but they put an item here. Okay. Now, so again, when you write an agenda, so it depends on the meeting goals. We are reiterating backward what the goals are, what the intention of having a meeting. So because when that's in the mind, then we remain focused to the problem in hand, and we're not distracted. Okay. And then we have to outline a list of meeting agenda topic for discussion. So what the topic for discussion are in agenda. Okay. And these topics, very important, because when we do meeting, so then list of topics, so there's an ownership. Okay, for instance, my active set of what we call it, list of topic currently is, one is board round, which Olu and me are leading, and one is this consultant charter. Okay, so that's the current my topic point, which I talk about in the consultant meeting. So it's me.
I can't hear you, Mr. J.
His computer is logged out again. That's
But it
why.
looks like he was talking, but we can't hear it.
Yeah. The computer in the hospital computer logs off. So when it logs off, you can't hear.
We can still see you though, Mr. J. It's just we can't hear you, that's all.
Yeah.
Can we text him, because I don't know whether he understands.
I think he's trying to log in.
Hello.
Hello,
Yeah.
welcome back.
Oh no, what it is, this hospital thing goes off so often. That's the problem. I think I now I will keep on touching it because it needs touching so often, every 15, 20 minutes. Okay. Okay, so we were, it's good, it's give you a rest as well, inadvertently. Okay, so it should be, we're talking about the topic to be discussed. So it should be an owner. A topic should have an owner. For instance, we are talking about the topic for the agenda. So I own this thing in my meet, and it should be a time limit. For instance, oh, it's a 5 minutes or something, because to keep a time track. So these are a couple of requirements for the topic, and and to keep audience interest, so that this should be started with a question. Okay, so for instance, chair of the meeting will be asking me, Mr. Junjua, so what happened to your board round? Okay, or what happened to your consultant charter? So what has, so it's just when you question people, so they get alert. I don't know, is innate something stuff, or questioning people is no good or whatever, because it somehow it seemed to be that your integrity or something is being attacked. Not integrity, I won't say integrity, or something uncomfortable. Okay, so so the thing, when we put in a question, they are responding to in a better way. Okay, and then you also identify the required attendees. Very important when you write agenda. So who is attending the meeting? So is also having impact upon the agenda. So for instance, so the attendees can be people in a group of people, so who are um, uh, related with that service, or it can be a people whose knowledge or expertise are required in the meeting, or it can be people who will be impacted upon by that decision reached in the meeting. So attendees can be a different set of categories. So it can be people like us now, okay, and if we ask some other person to come to teach us, so due to his knowledge and expertise, okay, so it can be that, or it can be if you're developing some service and the service has an impact on some particular group of the employee, okay, so they also should be coming in the meeting. So hence the agenda will be tapered or tailored to that set of activities. Okay, and also at the leave a section of the agenda for the action item, and the matter to arise in the meeting. For instance, at the end of this meeting, so you need a little bit space where it should be left empty a little time, 5-10 minutes, because then you can ask the audience or the participant of the meeting, have any other action need to be discussed, or somebody want to discuss other business. So it's a good meeting structure. If we have a little bit time left at the end, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or 5 minutes in the agenda, where the time should be empty time slot. So if the people want to discuss or talk something, outside the agenda item, or something might have come up while we're talking about something, and that time should be allocated to that set of activities. Okay, but again, sometime to keep the meeting schedule in time, because the meeting has to be in time, because if the meeting is out of the time and disarrayed, whatever, so the message to audience is no good. So sometimes if the discussion is not ending, goes on and off, so it's legitimate. Some people say, oh, let's have a chat about this outside the meeting. Okay, so that is very important. And minutes, meeting minutes. I mean, it's also very important because at the end of the day, so somebody has to write the minutes of the meeting, but the meeting should be minuted. Minuted means it should be recorded as we are recording now, or it should be put in black and white. Because now we are talking about something in the department now, consultant bodies, something on call frequency. I mean, some people are doing, we think less on call, some people are doing more on call. Now, first we heard, oh God, it was discussed in the meeting, but now they say, no, we don't know who discussed it. Sorry, we said, oh, can you have the minutes? Then if it's what discussed in the meeting, because we don't recall discussing in the meeting. Now they are backtracking. They say, no, it been never discussed in the meeting. No, we don't know who said it. You know what I mean? So minutes are very, very important at the end of the meeting. So minute can be action minutes, as we know what the action is, for instance, or it can be combined of action and decision, whatever. So it's a different sort of mix of the minutes. And, so how we write the minute, that's very important, okay? Now, writing minute can be, as I said, action minutes, as we said that this is the action, this is the owner, this is the time. It can be a discussion minutes, okay? Discussion is, and it can be a verbatim. Now, verbatim and discussion, I think there's a fine difference between these. Verbatim is a term where we write and, letter by letter. If Olu or Boone or Zia or, somebody is talking, then it has to be letter by letter. Okay, that's called verbatim. And discussion is something else. In discussion, sometimes, you put somebody's opinion as well. So discussion minutes are not, to me, they're not as authentic as action minutes or verbatim minutes. I don't know whether you got my point, but discussion is something discussion is it. So if you have a discussion meeting minutes, then probably there's some sort of other mix-up coming as well. And action minutes are particular minutes where somebody is owner and is a time limited. Verbatim minutes are minutes where we write letter by letter, record letter by letter, and the discussion minutes, I don't know, discussion minutes might be mix of two, or might be other people coming in as well. Like, okay, they write like that, okay, AJ said that, Olu said that, Bone said that, Zia said that, Patrick said that in discussion meeting. So it has to be in past tense minutes. Okay. So, I mean, at the end result of the minutes meeting is a minutes, is it? Okay. So I think we're finished now, is it? Finished? Yeah. Okay. So this is something which I want to convey, because to me, the meetings are a major chunk of your job plan when you will become a consultant, and it just to keep a little bit segment of your brain, thinking of the meetings in your course of training and talking about. Okay, any question, anybody?
No, thank you. It's very clear, boss. Thank you very much for sharing your experience of and tips for
I'm sure
optimizing meetings.
Because, okay, fair enough. Guy, my point is that you should be exposed to these sort of things. You should know this thing is is happening as well. Okay, fair enough. So who is the next one then?
Is it Saurabh?
Yeah, I think Boone, I need to learn from Zia, yourself, or Olu this thing, because this thing, I think my laptop needs changing, quite frankly. I think there's something